Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the Chef Yusuf show where we learn to cook the Islamic way. Today's dish is very economical, it's very simple, and it is one of the best things I ever tasted in my life. Today's episode is something that is gonna allow you to think outside the box, and it's something that you're gonna keep throughout your cooking career. I'm gonna present you a potato pizza. Potato pizza, imagine. How many people heard of a potato pizza? Regarding the topic of Ramadan, we'll go ahead and talk about fasting the 6 days of Shawwal. Shawwal is the month that follows the month of Ramadan. When we fast the month of, the 6 days of Shawwal, it's something that we learn how to keep Ramadan throughout the year, so we don't leave Ramadan behind. So we're gonna keep doing our best throughout the year until the next Ramadan. So inshallah, let's go ahead and get started. Now, what is the big deal about a potato pizza? Potato pizza, a lot of people never even heard of a potato pizza, but this is one of the things that you have to taste for you to believe how good it tastes. And I'm very surprised that nobody is selling this in a massive scale, right? Only few fancy restaurants makes potato pizza. The thing is, in third world country, pizza is considered to be a delicate, something really expensive. Only the 1% are able to eat. The reason for that is because of the cheese, right? The cheese that we use is a mozzarella cheese. It's a cheese that melts. These cheese are not available, and it pushes the price up, right? So we live in Chicago. We have a pizza called deep dish pizza, Chicago deep dish pizza, and the thing is, it's so expensive. Why? Because the amount of cheese is like this thick of cheese, right? You have, so the cheese in the pizza is what pushes the price up. So if you think of a pizza, it's basically bread, it's tomatoes and some cheese. If we can substitute the cheese with something else, then everybody should be able to afford this. And the beautiful thing is, you will not believe how good it tastes. Wallahi, man, this is one of the best things I ever tasted. If you look, just one more hint before we start, like in the third world countries, right? If potatoes are grown all over the place, they are very inexpensive. Bread is what the poor survives on, and tomato is what they export, right? So these three ingredients that are the cheapest. So this thing should be it should be very popular, right? So this is an opportunity for the guys out there who wants to be pioneers and think of ideas and think of the menu that cater to the community, but something that they do not have, right? The things that they have, the ingredients that they have cheaply and uncostly, and make a menu out of that and make the best things that you will ever taste. The only bad thing about making a pizza is preparing a dough. And if you want to go and refer back to our topic of economy, we presented to you how to make dough, right? So if you want to go ahead and make dough from scratch, that is something that I do not recommend in the month of Ramadan because it takes more than 24 hours. Now, the thing about the dough, you can also go to the pizza place and buy dough. You can do that if you want. So this is one way. But what I'm gonna present to you is to buy, the whole bread like this. This is a bread that you can buy, and you can make a pizza on top of this, right? So this is a shortcut. So we have a bread already made and prepared. You can also go to the store and buy the pizza ready bread. It's the same thing. It's basically just a piece of bread, right? What I like to do, I like to make if you want to flip it, go ahead and flip it. So go ahead and put the golden part in the bottom. And remember, guys, when we made our tomato sauce, the tomato cascade sauce, this is the sauce that I made. See how smooth and nice it is? I put it in a jar. So making a pizza is basically consists of a nice flat bread, or maybe some dough. You'll put some of the sauce, the marinara sauce. I can't even say that properly. Okay. So we'll put sauce on the bottom. And this is one of the things that I told you about, like when we make the sauce, you can make spaghetti, you can make lasagna, you can make a really nice homemade pizza that you can prepare with the sauce. And of course, you can also get the ready tomato sauce that you can put on your pizza, and the jars that they sell. So we have a piece of bread with some sauce on top of it. And I do have here some of the potato. How much potato? Enough to cover the sauce, right? So I have potato, and I have, if you have a mandolin, go ahead and slice them in a mandolin. What we want to do, we want to go ahead and slice these like chips, right? As thin as we can. And this is, the mandolin is the most dangerous part tool in the kitchen, so you guys gotta be careful. You know, I've seen a lot of cut finger. All right, after we slice the potatoes, we go ahead and add the potatoes on top, and subhanallah, look how easy this dish, and it's really one of the simplest thing I've ever seen. But honestly, wallahi guys, sometimes it's the simplest things have the best flavors that you can ever imagine. So basically we are substituting the cheese and the pepperoni and all of these toppings just for plain potatoes. Okay, so we have a piece of bread with some tomato sauce and some of the potato. We'll go ahead and add some of the seasoning, the Italian seasoning, which, you know, basically basils and rosemary and oregano. Just put it, you know, just go ahead and sprinkle this on top. Of course, organic Spain olive oil. This is very actually inexpensive. This is from a big store called Costco in the United States. So what we want to do, we want to drizzle it. We want to drizzle the oil on top of the potato. Okay, and just the way you heat the pizza, go ahead and put this in the oven. And this is one of the things that this bread, it might get a little bit dry because it's already pre-cooked. So if you do buy the ready dough from the store, from the pizza place, it will be also more recommended, but this is like a shortcut, right? So we'll put this in the oven until the potato are crispy and done. So we'll go ahead and pull it out and show you what is the final result. We'll share with you some of the hadith regarding the 6 days of Shawwal, and we'll be back until this is well done. And by the way, how hot do you want your oven to be? You know, it depends on different types of oven. So we want to cook with our eyes. We want to put the oven to maybe 350, 75, maybe 400 degrees. Just we're gonna keep an eye on the potatoes until they are golden and nice and crispy. We were talking about the subject of the 6 days of Shawwal, so let's go ahead and just mention those real quick. It should not take a lot of time since we're waiting for the pizza, right? So why do we fast? Why are we recommended to fast 6 days of Shawwal? Some scholars talked about it. Maybe they talked about the wisdoms behind it and some of the things that it's nice to notice. But the main point is when we fast Ramadan, it is like an iman booster for us. It is like a purification, right? So after Ramadan, we don't want to just do Ramadan full time and become Muslim part time, right? Only in Ramadan we are Muslim, and the rest we are something else, right? We don't want to do that. So fasting 6 days after Ramadan reminds us of to keep going throughout the year, right? And there is a hadith about that if you fast 6 days of Ramadan, it is as if you fasted the whole year. Some of the ulama talked about the wisdoms regarding when we take reward hasanat, Allah multiplies it by 10 times, right? So if you calculate 30 days in Ramadan plus 6 days of Shawwal, that's 36 days. And if you multiply that by 10, that is 360, which is the same number throughout the year. So this is some of the hikmah regarding the 6 days. I just want to mention one thing regarding Sha'ban. Some of the fiqh issue. First of all, we should not fast in the Eid. The day after Ramadan is a day that we should break our fast, and when we break our fast, we are getting rewarded for that. So it should not be separate days. It could be like either in a row or it could be separate throughout the month. So there is no specific order that you have to follow. The other thing is, what if I was traveling in the month of Ramadan and what happened was I had to break my fast? Would that be counting with the 6 days? Some of the fuqaha said, go ahead and make up the days that you missed. And if there are 6 days still in Shawwal, go ahead and make up 6 days to get the benefit that you fasted the whole year. The message is the Quran. The message is that the Quran should stay with us not just in Ramadan. It should stay with us throughout the year. And we should understand the concept of La ilaha illallah. There is no deity, there is no law, there is no rule, there is no justice except the justice of Allah. And this is when we understand this concept, we understand why there is a war in Islam and why even the people at the time of the Sahaba, they were prosecuted and tortured. So we should have La ilaha illallah in our heart throughout the year and not to be part-time Muslim. So let's go ahead and check on the pizza. Welcome back. We got our pizza out of the oven after 15 minutes on a high broil, so the potato will be cooked. We try our best not to cook the bread on the bottom, but if you don't have the ready cooked, pre-cooked bread, if you have the dough, you just want to put it as if you want to cook a pizza, which is in the oven, and not necessarily the broil, right? So when we have the broil on, you know, we want to try to cook the potatoes on top and try not to burn the bread at the same time. We got our, you know, I wish you can smell this, you know, you can smell the tomatoes and the, you know, the stuff that we put on the tomatoes, you know, the garlic and the onions. It's really nice actually. So we'll go ahead and slice this. And this is one of the best things that I ever ate. It is a very quickly and easy and simple meal that you can prepare. It is something that does not require a lot of time, and this is what we are trying to achieve in the month of Ramadan. The dishes that does not require a lot of time, right? Go ahead and plate it, put it in a nice plate, put it on top of each other, you know, put it in aluminum foil maybe so you can take it with you on a trip if you're going to i'tikaf, if you're going to the masjid in the house of Allah to worship, you know, you can take these with you at the same time. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I present to you some potato pizza with some that is, you know, a lot of people don't know about, right? And you should try this to believe how good it tastes. This is one of the best things we ever tasted. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll talk to you next time. I hope you learned something today. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.